So first and foremost, thank you and welcome for joining us today. Everyone has been muted for this presentation. However, we invite your questions and comments through the chat or Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. They will be answered throughout the presentation as well as at the end during a question and answer period. If we do not get to your questions this morning or your questions are specific to an individual case or an individual situation, we will be sending out a follow-up email that will capture the question and answer and provide responses and referrals as needed. Again, this presentation is being recorded. We ask that you please be respectful and considerate of others on the webinar while providing comments. The recording and the PowerPoint will be shared in the previously mentioned follow-up email, as well as on the demortgagehelp.com website. So today you will hear from DAR CEO Wes, as well as members of the DSHA team regarding the Delaware Mortgage Relief Program. By the end of this presentation, we hope you feel prepared and assured to help those you serve regarding the program. At this time, I'm going to hand the floor over to Wes. It is all yours.
Yeah, thank you, Lori. Hello, everyone. I'm Wesley Stefanik. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Delaware Association of Realtors. And I just wanted to, in particular, thank all of our members for attending that did sign on this morning to learn more about the program, not just from a personal point of view, to know what the program is, but also so that you can gain this information that you might be able to share with your clients that might be struggling that you know of. So Lori, I want to thank you for putting this together. I want to thank the DSHA staff, and feel free to take it from there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I just want to take a few minutes to introduce the DSHA team. With this, we have Brian Rosello. He is our Director of Housing Finance. We also have Ujesh Patel, who is the Program Manager for the Delaware Mortgage Relief Program. And we have Javier Hortzman, who is our Chief Policy Advisor. And as I pull up the PowerPoint, we will kick it off to Javi for a quick welcome and some information about our agency.
Well, I really appreciate the introduction. I hope my connection's okay. I'm having some technical difficulties here. But really, to kind of kick things off a little bit about what we do as an agency, really at the core of what we do is to assist low to moderate income Delawareans to find affordable housing opportunities and kind of the supportive services around that housing. And to enable us to do that, we work with homeownership programs like the first-time homebuyer tax credit. We provide some down payment assistance, closing cost assistance to individuals that qualify. Additionally, we do work around our public rental housing program, so our voucher program, specifically down in Kent and Sussex County. We are the provider for the vouchers. In Newcastle County, they have various rental housing providers like Newcastle County Housing Authority, the Wilmington Housing Authority, and so on. One of the major programs that we do is community affordable housing development. So through programs like the DDD program, the Downtown Development District, the Strong Neighborhood Housing Fund, we really work to financially support affordable housing development in the state. So next slide, please. So really what you're here to hear about today is the Delaware Mortgage Relief Program. Colloquially, we call it the DMERP program. So at kind of the very high level, it's $50 million provided to us by the federal government through the U.S. Treasury Department and the American Rescue Plan Act. So what that does is to give us funds to assist individuals that have been affected by COVID-19 that now have their mortgage delinquent or in forbearance. We have these funds available through 2025 unless we are able to utilize the funds faster. So basically, once we utilize the 50 million, we won't have any more funds available to continue this program. Next slide, please. So I know what's really important to folks is transparency. In an effort to do that, we have our DMERP portal that folks can go and take a look at. It's updated daily. Basically, this is a way that folks can hold us accountable to ensure that we are being upfront with how the program is being run, with how much program funding we have available, how much assistance we have provided to Delaware homeowners so far. So with that in mind, I'm going to kick it over to Brian and you, Jesh, who are going to go through kind of more of the technical aspects of the program and really what type of assistance is available. Thanks so much.
I'll let you take the floor. Thanks, Avi. Good morning, everyone. So I'm briefly going to go over the eligibility requirements as well as some program guidelines and information. So what you see on your screen here is some eligibility requirements for the program. First and foremost, you must be a Delaware resident and occupying your home in the state of Delaware as your primary residence. This is not a program for investors. This is for homeowners who are behind on their mortgage on their primary residence. Income must be at or below 150% AMI or 100% of the median income, whichever one is greater in the United States. In order to qualify for it, we are looking for income. If you aren't earning any income, we do have like an income attestation form that the applicants can fill out. Your hardship must have occurred on or after that date that you see on your screen of January 21st, 2020. And what we're looking for is some sort of reduction in income or an increase in housing related expenses. And you must also be delinquent at least 30 days on your mortgage. So you can't be current and applying. Like I mentioned before, this is for folks who are currently delinquent on their mortgage and need help saving their home. Next slide, please. So the grant is up to $40,000. We have divided into two different categories. The first being the Fresh Start Grant, which is up to $30,000. This grant is used for delinquent mortgages, and that includes your mortgage payment and your escrow, taxes, and insurance. In order to qualify for this program, you must fall in between those parameters on the screen there. So we're looking for a 31% DTI or less to receive the reinstatement, which is like a straight payment to your mortgage servicer to bring you current. If you fall between that 32 and 45%, you have the option to either opt in the modification agreement with your servicer or a straight reinstatement. Anyone over that 45% mark will only be able to pursue a modification agreement. And finally, if the applicant is like excess of 80% DTI, you'll be referred out to a housing counselor for additional help to kind of bring it below that 80% mark. And then just to kind of refer, it is a one-time payment for up to $30,000. Sorry about that. Next slide. The next section, the next part of the grant is up to $10,000. So both together equal that $40,000. For this one specifically, it's for tax delinquency, any sort of HOA or homeowner insurance delinquency that is non-escrowed, and as well as the water and sewer bill. Those are only categories that we have currently that we cover. Unfortunately, utility bills we don't cover, so it's only limited to that water and sewer delinquency. So it is up to $10,000, and it would cover those charges that you see on your screen there. Now a little bit about the application process. So in order to get started with the application, you must visit the demortgagehelp.com website. On there, you'll be able to click apply now, answer some sort of pre-screening questions, kind of gets you qualified. So you'll go through the application. We'll ask for personal information as well as more information about your delinquency, whether it's mortgage or any sort of other delinquency. You'll submit the documents that are required for the program, and then you'll press the submit button, and it is then assigned to our intake team, who will basically just do a quick scrub of the application, see if there's any additional information that are needed. If everything looks good, your application is then verified by your loan servicer. Typically what happens in this time is we reach out to your mortgage servicer to get some sort of updated information about your mortgage, to see how far back you have been on your mortgage for delinquency. Once we receive that feedback from your servicer, we'll then go ahead and approve the application, and the assistance is then distributed to your mortgage servicer directly. So now I'm going to pass it back to Lori, our Director of Public Relations, just for some reminders of the application.
Yes, thank you so much. And I'm just going to pull up the chat now, just in case any other questions have come through. Awesome. So just some reminders for submitting an application. Documents cannot be faxed or emailed to our offices or to the program team. All participants must upload their information into the application portal. Second, a homeowner, as mentioned before, must be delinquent at least 30 days, including any payments during a forbearance period. That is a big one in terms of what we are seeing in terms of applications coming in. Third, duplicate applications lead to a delay in processing. An example of a duplicate application is one application for the $30,000 grant, so mortgage-related expenses, and another application, for example, for water or sewage. You can combine those into one application. They do not have to be two separate ones. And then also there is an option to select loan modification or unable to sustain payments on the application. We have had some applicants check this box, sort of afraid that they won't receive assistance if they don't check it, and that is not the case. If they check this box, it may lead to a delay in processing because it forces our team to sort of go into some other checklists and internal controls to make sure that we're offering the homeowner the best assistance possible.
Or could I go back to something too real quick?
Yes, of course.
So good morning, everyone. Just wanted to add to that, if some of you are familiar with our previous program called DMAP, this program is a little different. This is a grant. There's no documents or liens against the property. And we also assist in aid to mobile homes and mobile home parks. So we can assist with the lot rent that may be delinquent, as well as the financing costs to the mobile home as well. So, and just reiterate too, we get a lot of questions about, I don't have any income, so we are looking for sustainability. So if your income is zero or you don't have income and you're at that 80% DTI mark, and we're considering the DTI just a mortgage to income, we will refer them out because we're looking to, as you just mentioned, it's a one-time assistance that once this assistance is provided, that the homeowner should be able to maintain sustainability long term. Thanks, Lori.
Yep, of course. As you just mentioned, homeowners are not guaranteed the full 40,000 sort of flat amount in assistance. It is broken up into those two different grants, Fresh Start and Emergency Displacement. You'll see on the program dashboard that was shared earlier, and I'll place it in the chat. The average amount of assistance we are distributing right now is around $6,000 per household. And then the last one, which is applications cannot be processed without loan servicer participation. As you just mentioned, we work with the loan servicer to verify the mortgage, and that can take some time on the loan servicer's part. And we cannot, move forward with the application until we have that loan servicer verification. We are actively working to onboard loan servicers into our program portal and our program process so that delay does not happen, but it is important to mention as it can hold up an application. Cool. So in terms of additional resources, we have the demortgagehelp.com website, and I will place that in the chat. We also have a call center that's open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'll place that number in the chat as well. It's also available on the screen. And then as always, we have our amazing housing counselors that we are also referring participants to. One very exciting piece about this program is that a homeowner can designate a representative, and that homeowner representative can apply on that person's behalf. A good example is my neighbor, Miss Barb, is not very tech savvy, but needs assistance applying to the program. As someone who is tech savvy, can apply on her behalf and sort of act as her proxy for the application. And we have a training for those interested in being a homeowner representative, and those occur every Wednesday at 1 p.m. via Zoom. And that link will be in the follow-up email if you're looking to attend. It's also a good way to sort of see what the portal looks like behind the scenes and get familiar with it before you apply. So this is just the team's contact information in case you have any additional questions or concerns. We're always available to help, and no question is too small or no question is too big. We definitely want to make sure that these funds reach those who it's designed to reach. So please, at any point, let us know if you have any questions. And with that, we can move directly into questions.
So Lori, before we get the question, we'll go back to another point that Lori mentioned about the servicer participation. As also we need their participation as we're looking for the information. If your servicer does not wish to participate, we have no other way to distribute the funds. So your servicer has to participate and accept the program proceeds.
Awesome. So at this time, feel free to place your questions into the chat or Q&A box. But for the time being, we can start with the questions that were submitted during registration. So the first question is, how far behind can a homeowner be to use this program?
So that is a good question. They couldn't be delinquent prior to the January 20th of 2020 date that we mentioned on the presentation. So if they were delinquent in 2019, that would be a pre-existing delinquency prior to the COVID hardship.
Okay. Does it cost anything for a homeowner to participate in this program?
It does not cost. There's no application fees or anything of that nature. And I guess, Lord, back to the previous question about how far back, the maximum amount of delinquency that we can assist with, it's just assume that this case has their taxes and insurance escrow, would be the $30,000 level. So the delinquency could have been after that date, but greater than 30,000. They have to negotiate that balance or bring money to the application process if it's exceeding that 30. So it's the date and the number.
Yep, awesome. And also to address the cost question, it does not cost anything to participate. If anyone does approach you and sort of ask for a fee to submit an application on your behalf, please notify us as soon as possible. This is a free program. It is free to participate and free to apply. Also, with cost, it does not show up on taxes in any way. And that is a question we receive very often. So accepting or receiving this assistance will not affect your end of year taxes in any way. If you are the administrator of an estate, can you apply for mortgage assistance if you are several months behind?
I think that question may need some more feedback, so if they can potentially reach out, because we need to know if they're living in that property as their primary residence.
Okay. Does this program include rental assistance? So we actually have a separate program for rental assistance. That's the Delaware Housing Assistance Program, DHAP. The program is currently paused to new applications and will reopen in early October. But yes, we do have a rental assistance program. Let's see. How long does it take to process an application?
So I'll let you tackle that. What's the average right now? Is it 30 days still?
Yes, right now we're working between the average of 30 and 45 days. So I guess like the reason why it's that number is because of the to get the servicer to participate to the program, as well as getting that feedback directly from the servicer. But typically, it is in a 30, 45 day ballpark. Right now.
So that's beginning application to actual funds to the servicers at 30 to 45 days. So you'll have feedback in between those 30 to 45 days, but that's the whole process.
Okay. What income qualifies for this program? So the income limits are available on our website, which I just placed into the chat just now. In terms of an example, I can happily share one.
So I can go through an example too. I have the
Yeah,
slide here
yeah.
too, Lori. So an example for like a 4-person household in Newcastle County, they can earn a maximum of 158.1. Same size household in Kent County, 4-person household can earn a maximum of 115.8. And the same size household in Sussex County can earn up to a maximum of 126.4. That's some examples of the income.
Okay. Does this program help with buying a home, or is it just for those who have already have homes and can't make payments?
Yeah, so this is for existing homeowners already struggling making payments on their existing mortgage. However, as we mentioned earlier in Javi's presentation, that we do have a home ownership program to help buyers with mortgage assistance, whether it just be an interest rate or down payment and closing cost assistance, as well as our mortgage credit certificate that helps with buying power. Feel free to check out our kishyourlandlordgoodbye.com website for that. And more, if you want to pop that in the chat too, that would be helpful. So we also have that program as well.
Definitely. Can we please get a copy of this slideshow presentation? Yes, the slides as well as this webinar recording will be shared in a follow-up email. What if someone is already in foreclosure? Does this preclude them from the grant?
The answer to that question is no, does not preclude them, but we'll have to go back to servicer participation. The servicer would have to agree to accept our funds and cure the default and stop the foreclosure. So that would be a servicer participation, but as long as the delinquency is less than the amount that can afford to pay in the program, and your servicer agrees to participate, then yes, we can aid, but does not preclude you, no.
Awesome. And I think it's also worth sort of touching on that from a bankruptcy aspect too, because that's another question we receive. Awesome. I do not see any more questions in the chat. I will give it a few more minutes. Again, we're here to answer questions now, or if some pop up in your head later, feel free to email us too. Are there cash asset limitations that the homeowner must consider? In other words, can they have savings?
Yeah, we don't do an asset test to see if they have the means to cure the default. I think the biggest thing to consider, if they're income qualified, they meet their COVID hardship, and their amount of delinquency is below the maximum, then they should be encouraged to apply. And just again, they can apply if their escrows are included. They can apply for the 30,000. If they have fees outside of that, water, sewer, homeowner association, things of that nature, they can apply for that in addition to the 30,000.
So if the homeowner was delinquent at any time prior to January 1st, 2020, they are not qualified. Is that correct?
If they could maybe expand upon delinquency, if they mean like they had a missed payment prior to that. So let me say this. If they had a missed payment that was sporadic prior to that delinquency, then they can apply. If the hardship they're realizing today, meaning that they're still delinquent, they haven't been able to catch up, or they were on the long-term forbearance plans and can't make those payments based on that, when that forbearance became due, then they should apply. If they had a delinquency in 2018 and it was a sporadic, then yes, they can still apply as long as they still had a new delinquency after the hardship date. However, if the hardship date is from mid 2019 and just rolled into 2020, then that would be looked at as a delinquency that happened prior to COVID. Hope that helps.
Awesome. So, seeing no more questions in the chat, we're happy to stay on for another few minutes just in case any more come through. But at this time, we would like to thank Wes and the Delaware Association of Realtors for having us today and for allowing us to share this information. The PowerPoint and the recording will be sent out via email. It will also be available on demortgagehelp.com. That is also where we post our monthly partner webinar calls. So if you're interested in just seeing how the program is progressing, receiving program updates, we do encourage you to sign up for those. Those are once a month, and the next one is on October 5th. Again, thank you so much for having us. And Wes, if you have any final words, please let me know.
No, I do not, but thank you all. I really appreciate it. We will share this among our membership. We have 4,400 plus members throughout Delaware, so we're happy to share it all. And as always, thank you for reaching out to us to have this. And if there's future programs we can partner with, we are more than glad to do so.
Awesome. Thank you. I do see the question in the chat about hosting a webinar on Kiss Your Landlord Goodbye. And yes, we'd be happy to do that too.
Yeah, as well, if you want to reach out to myself, I could put you in contact with Bill Salamone, who is our business development liaison. He can come out and do in-person presentations as well as partnered presentations as well.
Awesome. So we have one more program question. If the mortgage is current, but other areas like escrow and utilities are late, can you still apply?
So if your mortgage is current, could not apply, but if you're for that program, but if your taxes and insurance or water and sewer are late outside of your mortgage, you could apply. So I think if you're asking, I mean, if you have an escrow shortage, that's not covered. But if you have fees outside of your mortgage payment, like your water, sewer, homeowner association, you can apply for those. You would need to make the 30-day delinquency though, or anything included in your mortgage payment.
Awesome. We'll give it another few minutes, and then if not, we hope you guys enjoy the rest of your morning. But again, please feel free to continue adding questions into the chat or email us. I will throw our emails into the chat now as well.
Thanks, Laura.
Awesome. Well, we can go ahead and close it out, and you guys enjoy your morning.
Thanks a lot. See you later. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.